Well, thanks. Let me just say that I don't praise Mr. President. No. I told Buhari, it's not for me to allow them to do well. My prayer, if they shouldn't do well, so we can take over. But the truth is that, and let me say it for the first time, so many people ask me, where is he getting this money from? Let me say it. And I want, through the Attorney General, to thank Mr. President. Monies that were not paid to the Niger Delta State since 1999. Money, the 13% deductions, money that were not paid. Mr. President approved and paid all of us from Niger Delta State. And paid us. And for me, it would be unfair not to tell the public. It is not from FAC money. It is the money that's paid to me as Rivers State, Delta State, Akwa Ibom State, Edo State, Bayelsa State. And I thank God. And I can say it. And that is why today, since 2019 till now, yesterday we commissioned the 9th flyover. On December, we commissioned the 10th flyover. By February next year, we'll commission 11 and 12th flyover. The other day, we commissioned the Cancer Center, which we named after our leader, Dr. Peter Odley. Julius Berger built it and charged us 25.9 billion, equipped by GE, General Electric. We paid, no 1 naira is being owed, not one. So, I want to sincerely, from my heart and on behalf of the government and people of the state, thank Mr. President for this. Because, as an opposition government, he could have as well said, don't pay. You can't do anything. After all, since 1999.
Hello guys and welcome to my channel. I'm your host, Edikan Obot. This is Isaac News. Today, like this, I'm so happy. And I want to share a very controversial topic I want to talk about our President Muhammadu Buhari based on Governor Nyesom Wike's testimony of his personal experience with Buhari. So I want you to listen to this video. This is a very interesting topic. Listen to what Wike has to say about Buhari. Now, let me give you some context as to why this is very important. Okay? In President Muhammadu Buhari's tenure, Nigeria has been tagged the poorest country in the world. We have been called a failed state. He has been shame vilified and has been called Jubril on many occasions, saying that an imposter is running government. But I want to tell you a few things about what he has done to states that you may or may not know. But first, I want to start with the dollar price. So in the previous administration, dollar was being bought between $120 to $150 a barrel. Okay, the oil price was so high because the Arab nations and some big oil giant nations were banned from bringing oil into the international market because they were not in good terms with the West. Immediately after Buhari resumed office, these nations, the bans were lifted off and they began to sell oil. So in a place where oil was scarce in supply, there was now excess supply of oil that made crude oil price to drop from $150 to about $40 a barrel, and began to raise more and began to fluctuate between $50 and $60 a barrel. This is up until a few years ago. Pay attention. Nigeria is heavily dependent on oil money to run the affairs of this nation. If a nation was making so much money from oil when oil was being sold at $150 a barrel, and that nation now faces an issue where over 50% of that money is no longer coming in because now oil is now being sold at, let's just say $50 a barrel. From $150 a barrel, that is about 60 to 70% of your income has gone from oil. If we were making it's 20 or let's say 100 trillion naira on a yearly basis from oil, we will now be making maximum of about 50 trillion naira on a yearly basis from crude oil sales alone. Now, an administration needs to have 100 million naira. I'm just speaking, I'm just giving an instance. 100 million naira as its yearly revenue from oil, crude oil exportation, crude oil sales. Another administration now has max 50 trillion naira from crude oil sales. Why? It's not the Nigerian government's fault. It's because the price of crude oil that was about 120 to 150 dropped to 40, then and began to fluctuate between about 50 and $60 a barrel. So thereby slashing over half, 60 to 70% of the money we made from exporting crude oil was no longer available to the Nigerian government just because there was a switch in oil price. Now you ask, Edikan, so why are you telling me all this? Pay attention. With very little revenue as compared with previous administration coming into the federal government account, Buhari has given the highest allocation to states than any president before him. My state, Akwa Ibom State, at some point in 2019, 2020, received the highest allocation than any state, even a whole Lagos state. Akwa Ibom was receiving, on many occasions, we were receiving the highest oil allocation from the federal government. Sometimes 48 billion. I don't know the figures, but we're receiving the highest the highest monthly allocations to state government from the federal government. More than any administration had ever given. The highest. In Goodluck Jonathan's regime, we're making a lot of money. In Buhari's time, we'll be making half the amount. Now, I'm speaking with respect to crude oil earnings alone, not other earnings. We are making half what we were making back then in Buhari's time. And unfortunately, this is not a good thing I want to say now. We have even reduced our oil export in terms of volume because of excess bunkering in the Niger Delta and vandalization of oil pipeline and the diversion of oil in the pipeline. It had reduced, and our revenue is not still as our export volume is not still as high as it used to be. But in all these shortcomings, Buhari has been giving state allocation higher than any president before him. Now, Governor used to make it, as you already watched in the video, came out more than one occasion when he was speaking. There are two videos, which I'll play one after this stuff I'm saying now. More than one occasion, he clearly said that he's a critic of Buhari. He's not Buhari's fan. He's not Buhari's friend. He's not Buhari's follower. He does not like the man. But he said that he has to thank this man because money that we owe the Niger Delta by not his administration, money owed the Niger Delta region from previous government, previous president that we have admired and almost even built a statue for. The money owed the Niger Delta by this previous government were paid by President Muhammadu Buhari to all the Niger Delta state. This is a governor speaking. This is not hearsay. He is in the crux, in the heart of this matter, and he knows when money moves and when money has entered. He mentioned my state, Akwa Ibom. He mentioned his state, Rivers. Mentioned core Niger Delta state, Delta state, Bayelsa state, and I don't know if I've left out any core. Imo state should even be part of a Niger Delta oil drilling because Imo is sharing boundary with Rivers, and they have been even having issues based on oil well. All these states we paid money they were not expecting. Mind you, this money we owed previous governors before them. So they were never even, the governors right now collecting this money were never expecting it. Billions of naira will be funneled into this account. And how many of them can account for it? How many of them can account for it? Buhari has paid this money to the governors. And Wike, being a kind-hearted man and a good-spirited man, by the way, because I'm praising Wike now, I don't even think that our president is perfect, even if it may sound so. Not that I think that Wike is perfect, but I am just here to thank him for this is saying, so that at least we can listen when I speak and say that Buhari has Nigerians at the very center of his heart. How can someone go and pay debts owed by administrations before him? Billions. If you're comparing all the money as paid, it amounts to trillions of naira funneled to Niger Delta State. And I question and say, what have our governors done with the money that have been sent from the federal level down to them? What have they done? And I'm not saying that they're not doing anything, but I'm just saying that Buhari has done a good job. So when President Muhammadu Buhari sends money to the governors, how will he now follow up what is being done? So some things that happen in the country that we blame him, many times it is the fault of the governors who are also siphoning and embezzling these things or just mismanaging it, because he on his own cannot run this country by himself. So Buhari has done a good work by paying this old debt, and Governor Wike has been bringing out all this information, embarrassing, or will I say, trying to show that Buhari has been trying in this regard to make sure that nobody is being owed. Now, a video will be made about how much Buhari has been paying to pensioners very soon. Just wait for it. I'm going to upload that video very soon. Buhari has spent trillions in paying pension. Mind you, over 80% of this pension were not being owed by his administration. He has paid pension as far back as the Nigerian Civil War to the Biafran soldiers who were dismissed from the Nigerian army for fighting alongside Biafra. Buhari has paid them pension. People who try to divide this country. A man that somehow hates Easterners, hates them, wants to kill them. He has paid them the pension that the president that did not hate Easterners did not pay. Obasanjo did not pay. Goodluck did not pay. Yar'Adua did not pay. And I'm not saying they were bad, but Buhari came, the president that supposedly hates Easterners, and paid Biafran soldiers pension. People actively seeking to divide the nation as at then, he paid them pension. And you tell me that this same man hates this country. Anyways, I'm going to end here for today. Just listen to what Wike has to say again. Listen clearly, and then judge righteous judgment. Don't judge based on emotions, based on feelings, based on what the media has been saying to condition you just to hype emotions and make you feel angry. Don't act based on feelings or opinion. Act based on facts and do your research properly and see that this man has been trying. He's not perfect. He has not done the best that can be done, but he has been trying. And we must give honor to whom honor is due. So please listen to Wike as you like this video. Thank you very much.
What I don't... But let me tell you, for us, the People's Democratic Party, and I'm telling you the truth, yesterday people are calling me, why should I commend President Muhammadu Buhari? Most of you are not there. I said it. I have no apologies to anybody. I have no apologies to anybody. I'm not a fan of President Buhari. If there's any governor that criticizes President Buhari, it's me. And other governors too, from the integrity group. I said this. President Buhari approved the money that nobody has paid to the Niger Delta States, the core Niger Delta States of Akwa Ibom, of Delta, of Bayelsa, of Rivers, and they don't. Every money that they took from us, They approved. And we got the money. And that's the money I'm using to build the law school, to build 12 flyovers, to build a cancer center, to build... To build the first Calabari, to build Sabuwa to Kono, to build Ahuda, to toilet Ahuda. People must say the truth. I don't know the day I will die, but now I'm alive. I will tell the people of River State the simple truth. And I'm saying the truth. And nothing but the truth. That is that. My dear brothers of integrity, we've done well. They've tried to break us, they couldn't break us. And they will